As long as the people want it, we might go maybe an hour plus question and answers, inshallah. Humbly request, inshallah, the brothers especially who are interested in participating in today's workshop for Hajj, if we could move forward, inshallah, keeping in mind those who are praying not to cross over them. And we will begin, inshallah, momentarily. I would request that you have notepads and pens or pencils or some type of instruments to take notes. As we all know, Hajj is a very strenuous journey, and it requires a lot of preparation, a lot of time allocation and understanding. So if we could use our cell phones or any other instruments to take notes, it would be, I think, time spent well, inshallah. The format for today's discussion, inshallah, we will try to keep it within 1 hour. There's a lot to cover, but my angle of approach, inshallah, will be a bit different from what we may be accustomed to. And following that, we will have time allotted for questions and answers. So please feel free to note your questions down, and then at the end of the session, you can ask as many questions as you like, inshallah. And since this was a Hajj seminar, how many brothers, inshallah, are going for Hajj from here, the brothers? MashaAllah. Anyone bring an ihram with them today? See? Hajj workshops, Hajj seminars, it's important to bring the ihram because it's a very important time for us to practice how to gown ourselves in the ihram. Inshallah, labas, we'll try to get a piece of sheet, or we might even use this tablecloth to demonstrate that. That being said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillahi wa kafa wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربي زدني علما والحقني بالصالحين سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. For the sisters who are sitting upstairs, inshallah, this workshop is for them also. So please, inshallah, your questions are equally important. So upon the completion of the session, the question and answer floor will be open for both the brothers and the sisters. There are pens and papers that will be handed out, so inshallah, feel free to take notes. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let's try that again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As we begin, I believe that it's very important, it's essential, it's vital that when we embark on a journey of a topic or a discussion, everyone that's participating is on the same page. So in order for us to get on the same page, I want to present to you an example. Many of us, if not all of us, are on social media, on Facebook. We're on WhatsApp groups. I use a plural because there's a group for everything, right? And in those groups, sometimes people share videos and messages and snippets or pictures that have messages. Since we are we're living in a time where we're suffering from what we call information overload. There's just so much that we're seeing and reading and hearing that our senses cannot process anymore. Seldomly do we hear something that makes our soul shake. Seldomly we read something that brings tears to our eyes, even though they may say explicitly graphic images. Fishes dead on the water as we are facing in Florida right now, and you see these beautiful shark whales and their carcasses are just washed up. It looks so bad, but our eyes have become numb. Our hearts have become hard because information overload. But amongst the many memes or videos that are out there, there's one that still hits me. And I'm hoping it hits you also. It's a picture and it's also a video of an old man who goes to a cell phone store. And he asks the worker, he goes, "My phone is broken." My phone is? Everyone? My phone is? Broken. And the person takes the phone, he looks at it, and he goes, "Sorry, sir, your phone is perfectly fine." And he then responds to that person's statement. He said, "Then why doesn't my children not call me?" For those of us whose parents are alive, we've taken it for granted. For those who've lost their parents, they wake up every morning thinking and hoping and wishing that they had the opportunity to just say one more salam. Yes or no? This still touches me. Out of all the stuff that we read or watch, this thing touches me. Now that we're all on the same page, let's move forward. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created all of us. Yes or no? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us hands through which we can grasp, feet with which we can walk, eyes through which we can see, ears which we can use to listen, our senses, our tastes, our abilities, our knowledge. This brain of ours that we think controls everything and we know how things are. Who gave it to us? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The more we look into and we analyze all that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us, we will realize that we're not worthy of it. We will come to an understanding that maybe Allah gave it to the wrong person. Because how much do I abuse my eyes and my ears and my feet? How many times do I use the knowledge that Allah bestowed upon me? He gave to me, He entrusted to me, and I do things which are contrary to the wish of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But regardless, Allah still gives. Does He? Yes or no? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues to preserve those blessings. Yes or no? That's the karam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is kareem. Now after giving all of these things to us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not demand a single thing from us. Did He, brother? Did Allah say, "Give me something back"? MashaAllah, you're making a good paycheck, give me 20%. Is Allah saying that? Allah is not saying that. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to fast, is it for Him or for us? When He tells us to pray, is it for Him or for us? For us. When He tells us to give charity, is it for Him or for us? And when He tells us to go to pilgrimage, is it for Him or is it for us? For us. And the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran mimics that example I gave you in the beginning. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. Look, I gave you everything. Look at the example of that father. The father that sacrificed something that he wanted for himself so the child could have what they desired. The father that took the children to an ice cream store and gave them ice cream and didn't buy one for himself. The mother that sacrificed her own Eid desire so that the children could have something for Eid. This is both the mother and the father. And they don't ask a single thing back from the child, do they? Do they say, "Okay, now you have a job, give me something, now you have a house, let me live in it"? They don't ask nothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after giving us everything, He says, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ. For Allah on the people should be one thing. At least in appreciation, in gratitude, in acknowledgement, in appreciation of all that I've given you. وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ. For Allah on the people is to make the pilgrimage to the house. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tied a clause to it. مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. If you can make it there, do it please. I'm not saying you have to come now. Allah is saying if you can come, it would be nice. If you can call me once in a while, it'd be nice. Understand the connection. I can't go Hajj this year. Why? My children are young. Alhamdulillah. I can't go Hajj this year. Why not? My daughter has to get married. Alhamdulillah. I can't go Hajj this year. Why not? My daughter is expecting. I can't go Hajj this year. Why not? Because I still have to pay off the mortgage. I can't go Hajj this year. Why not? Because I'm planning of having knee replacement. I can't go Hajj this year. Why not? Because I'm too old. What has our culture done to our religion? We have made Hajj something that's done last. When you're old and crippled and someone could push you on a wheelchair, go for Hajj. Why? Because before that I have family obligations. The same Allah that gave us a family, we have family obligations. The same Allah that had given us money, we have to reallocate our money and funds towards our debts and payments. Alhamdulillah. The same Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that given us the youth and the health is now becoming deteriorating, and it's also, we're becoming old and we are losing that. Alhamdulillah. We have every excuse in the book. Brother, I heard you cannot go Hajj unless you pay off all your debts. Now come on. Let's be realistic. Who in America is debt-free? Could anyone tell me who's debt-free? Huh? Even Saudi Arabia took a loan from the IMF. Come on, who's debt-free? Huh? Even though they have $600 billion left out of the $900 billion that they have, they even have a loan from the IMF. No one is debt-free. But we use religion against religion. This is our problem. We say Hajj should be such that it's accepted. We all want to accept Hajj, right? So we hear the hadith. The sign of an accepted Hajj is that a person's life changes and they become better and they don't sin anymore. So if I become old and senile and I don't know how to walk anymore and I have no more shahawat and desires, my Hajj is accepted. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. What is Hajj? Hajj is to go and see your Allah in appreciation and gratitude of all that He's given us so that you can open your eyes. Not these eyes, they've been open for too long. The inner eyes. So when you open those inner eyes, you realize the priorities of your life. Yes, you have to raise your family, but you have to also prepare for your akhirah. Yes, you have to give your children good education, but you have to stand in front of Allah tomorrow and answer for the knowledge that you knew. Yes, you have to teach your children good manners and ethics, but you will be judged in accordance to your own morals and character. So we have to shift from this narrow cultural mentality. The Hajj is something I will do when I get old because I want it to be accepted and because I want no more responsibilities on this earth so I could go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do this. No, the sooner the better. What is everyone? The sooner the better. Man istata'a ilayhi sabila. If you can allocate those funds and your structured debts continue to be paid, your 30-year mortgage, your 6-year car payment, go for Hajj. Why? So that you can open your eyes and realize that life has a purpose and death is inevitable, and hence this Hajj is a rehearsal of my death. What is Hajj, everyone? Rehearsal of death. The sooner I rehearse it, the better I can prepare for it. And the better my preparation is for it, I will stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a person who is willing and ready to meet Him. So this is a journey, my friends, that you're going to see the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're going to visit the resting place of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, our Habib, our Rasul, Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. You're going to go and pray in Riyadul Jannah. You're going to go and see the mountain of Jannah. You're going to go and make tawaf around the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do you think we need to prepare for that? Yes or no? Huh? Because unfortunately, alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah, mashallah, I've been doing Hajj since 1999. Under the mentorship and guidance of my uncle and friends. And I've learned a lot. But one thing I've learned, and it's a sad statement, but it's reality. Americans are the most ill-equipped, ill-prepared Hujjaj from the world. Unfortunately. I think it's in Zambia where they have to take a test before they are allowed to get a Hajj visa. There are weeks of classes that they take before they get their Hajj visa. People in Indonesia, Malaysia, different parts of Africa, this is serious business. But for us, it's okay, I got an agent, I'm going with this company, I've given them the money, they've given me my passport and ihram, labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Someone's saying labbaik Allahumma labbaik, someone's saying nambarik Allah nambarik. They don't even know what they're saying. Everyone's making tawaf counterclockwise. They're saying these people are backwards. Make tawaf clockwise. You will see, unfortunately, Hujjaj from America are the most unprepared Hujjaj. And think about this. You're going to see the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you're not prepared for that, then how low is this in my eyes? Just say tomorrow someone big is going to meet with you. The CEO of the company that you work for is going to come meet with you. You're not going to go to work the way we're dressed right now, are we? We're going to suit up. We're going to clean up. We're going to shine our hair, shine our shoes, and go say hi to the boss, right? We're going to the boss of bosses, the king of kings. We need to prepare. So there's 3 preparations we need to do. Number 1. Spiritual preparation. Spiritual preparation means what? Spiritual preparation means that this is a journey of spirituality. You're taking time out from your physical involvement in your jobs and your families and everything else to enrich your soul and to better align it with its path. This requires recitation of Quran. This requires the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This requires salawat and durood upon Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This requires standing up for tahajjud and making prayers. But if you don't prepare for these things from now, don't expect to go in Arafah and pray for 6 hours. MashaAllah, in some of our American companies, they have beautiful sofas in Arafah. And they have, well, they don't have Al Jazeera anymore, but they have some news going on, and they have newspapers. And mashallah, 3 o'clock in Arafah, sitting down, mashallah, ihram, reading newspaper. What happened? I made my dua. Mashallah. You made your dua. Mashallah. Huh? It is hard enough for a believer to put these hands together here. We're going to go there and put them together for 6 hours. Let's be real to ourselves. If our tongues are not moist with saying subhanallah or something while we're driving or walking or doing something that doesn't require our participation or involvement actively, we're going to make tawaf and make dhikr? Think about it. It's not going to happen. So spiritual preparation means starting to pray extra nawafil in sunan after the prayer, reciting Quran every day even if it's a page or 2. Get yourself in the hang of it. Because if you're not, it's going to be very difficult there. Subhanallah, looking at the Kaaba is ibadah. Yes or no? Looking at Kaaba is ibadah. But you'll be sitting in front of the Kaaba and you'll be on Facebook. Huh? It'll be time for prayer, you go, Allahu Akbar. The Kaaba is in front of you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Holy Quran, فِيهِ آيَاتٌ بَيِّنَاتٌ مَقَامُ Ibrahim. There are open signs that even a blind person can see. There are signs that even a blind person can see. Oh believers, what has happened? Our eyes can't see these things today. I remember once we were in Hajj, and at that time the slaughterhouses were not really in full swing. So many Hujjaj used to do their own slaughters. And many of the Arab countries, I remember, they would cut the meat and hang it to dry and make like jerky, like beef jerky or something. They would make that and take it home. That year in the Haram, there were flies everywhere. You'd be praying and you have flies coming all over you. But in Mina, you would not see a single fly. I was sitting next to my dear teacher, Mufti Sajjad Sahab. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevate his status. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use him for the deen, mashallah. Very good person, mashallah. He said to me, Azhar, what do you see outside in the window? We were in the bus. I said, there's meat hanging. He said, yes, what else do you see? I see this, I see that. He goes, what did you see in Makkah? I said, flies. He said, what do you see here? Nothing. There's meat, there's blood, but not a single fly touching it. Why? Because this belongs to Allah. This belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is for Allah, a fly will not come and touch it. In the olden days, the Jamarat were not 5 stories. They were a round bowl in a pillar. You may see the old pictures. And if you didn't know how to throw, if you're not good in baseball or cricket, and you throw the stone, and remember in those days, and they still are, many of the sisters and brothers are very emotional when they come to Jamarat. Gali bakte aur patni kya kya karte. They're swearing at Shaitan. Puri umar tumne kharab kar di, meri barbad kar di. Shaitan did nothing. Remember that. Stop blaming Shaitan. He did nothing to you. And let me tell you one thing. Allah will listen to Shaitan tomorrow. In his case, he will say, Allah, I did nothing to them. They did it. Allah say yes. So what happens is people pick up their chappal. People pick up glass bottles. And there was big stones. I remember my cousin brother, he got hit with a stone. And wallahi, I'm sitting in the masjid, one lady, she picked up an empty stroller, the pram, and she threw that also. People get so emotional. Now when you go to the olden day, you can't see this anymore, but in the olden days, people are pelting, yes or no? And what's common sense? The stones are, what are they doing? Piling up. And they're going to overflow, right? Because 7 stones each person. All you hear is tick, 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 tick. It's a mesmerizing sound when you hear those people pelting that thing. And I used to watch that bowl. It would fill up, it would go down. It would fill up, it would go down. One Ramadan, I went there and actually went inside that bowl. There's no gutter system. And my teachers told me that the stones that are accepted, the angels take them away. The stones that are not accepted, stay there. Fihi ayatun bayyinat. You, in your life, in your experience of your Hajj, you will see open signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will see it. But you have to be prepared to see it. So spiritual preparation, number 1. Let us start increasing our prayers. Let us start frequenting the masjid more. Let us start reading Quran. Let us start making dhikr. Let us start moistening our tongues with durood upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so that we can maximize the reward and the benefits over there. Yes? Number 2, mental preparation. Mental preparation is what? We are not going on a vacation. If you thought this was Maui, or you think this was the Maldives, or you thought this was Disney World, I'm sorry. This is a rehearsal of? What rehearsal of? Death. This is a rehearsal of death. Whatever complaints you may have, put that into your death. If it's so tight today, Mina, oh Allah, I need to do something to expand my grave in the day I die. If it's so hot in Arafah, oh Allah, I need to do something so I have shade on the Day of Judgment. Oh Allah, if my feet shake in Muzdalifah after standing the whole day, oh Allah, what's going to happen when I stand in front of you? Oh Allah, if going to the Jamarat and pelting the shaitan is so much pushing and shoving, the bridge of Sirat which goes over Jahannam towards Jannah is going to be as thin as a hair and as sharp as a blade. How am I going to go over that? Put it in perspective. Mental preparation, we're not going for a vacation. Yes, you spent money, but Allah said He will give it back to you and more. That's His promise, not mine. And I've seen that happen for so many people. Mentally, we're going for Hajj. You're going to have blisters on your feet. What are you going to have on your feet? Blisters. You're going to have aches and sores that you've never had before. Your breath will stink in ihram. Your hair will look weird. But you know what? What's going to happen when I go in the grave? Put all this in perspective with my grave. Because the second you depart from here, what are you doing right now? Packing, yes? Hujjaj are packing. You have a whole house, but you're taking selective items in your suitcase. Tomorrow, selective deeds are going to help you. Yes or no? Selective deeds are, so pack your deeds. Today you have the opportunity to say Khuda Hafiz and bye and salam to your family. Tomorrow you will die and you will not even have time to say I'm going. Today your family is going to take you to the airport. Tomorrow your family is going to put you in the grave. You're going to make the journey now, very long journey. When the brothers put on their 2 sheets, they're in their kafan. That's their ihram, that's their kafan. The first thing in Mina is your grave, where you don't even know the people sleeping next to you. The grave is the first step in our destination, in our journey towards our akhirah. We are coming through a 5-step journey. How many steps, everyone? We were in the world of souls. We passed that. Yes or no? We were in our mother's womb. We passed that. Yes or no? We are now in the womb of this world. Yes or no? We're going to pass that. And then we're going to go into the grave. And then from the grave, we're going to go to the Day of Judgment. From there, our destination. So we're in the middle of our journey right now. We're on step 3. Mina is your grave. Arafah is Maidan al-Hashr, where everyone will gather. Muzdalifah is when you stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the last 3 days of pelting, the day of Eid and the 2 days after, is crossing the bridge of Sirat. So mentally prepare yourself, brothers and sisters. You should have complaints. You will have complaints, yes or no? We'll have complaints, right? Are khana der se aaya, food came late. It was too spicy. It was this and that. But you know what you do at that time? Take that complaint from your tongue and open your hands and say it to Allah. Say it to Allah. What do you do? Say it to Allah. Oh Allah, the food isn't coming. I'm hungry. Oh Allah, you open the way. And I promise you, you say Alhamdulillah and the food will be in front of you. Take your complaints and get it from Allah. Who is your host? Allah is. Your group leaders and scholars and our providers are facilitators. They're not your host. Allah is your host. Let me give you an example. Many years ago, our group was staying in the buildings in Mina. There are 6 prototype buildings in Mina across from the Jamarat. These buildings are special for the Emiratis and the once upon a time Qataris and other people. And we were the only group, mashallah, to stay there from the Western Hemisphere. And what happened was, our bus came in last. And the buses were lined up. Now, a lot of these Arab countries, they leave to Arafah 2 o'clock in the morning. They have this thing, you have to get to Arafah. You'll get to Arafah. Everyone gets to, we have to get to Arafah. So 2 o'clock in the morning, our bus driver was told to back up so these buses could leave. Now, as our bus driver backed up, the police officer hit the bus and said, out. The bus driver explained to him, look, I'm going back inside. These buses are coming. He said, no, out. So now our bus driver had to leave. And it's not like you could make a U-turn and come back. You had to all the way to Arafah, then get on the highway, and then get out and try to come back in. 4 o'clock in the morning, we were in touch. We knew that it's a possibility our bus is not going to come. This is a reality. You could be in Makkah and not make it. This is a reality. So we ordered a new bus from Jeddah to come. Because the route from Jeddah and the route coming around from Makkah by the ring roads had more restriction. From Jeddah, we had an opportunity. Now all these groups left. Brothers and sisters are waking up for Tahajjud. We're praying Fajr. We're seeing that the building is quiet. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Imam, when are we going for Arafah? We're going soon, inshallah. We don't want to tell them, because they're going to get, stressed out. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. The streets are becoming quiet now. 10 o'clock. Imam, are we going to go Arafah or no? This is not right. We paid money for this. So what happened? We gathered everyone. We said, look, this is what's happened. Our bus driver is still trying to get back in, and another bus is coming. It should be here around 11. You know what we should do, all of us? Let us all stand up, go make wudu, pray 2 rak'ah, and read Surah Yasin. Yes or no? Think about this. If you want to make change, that's the place to make it. If you can't make it there, you'll never make it. Musa alayhi salam once went to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and said, oh Allah, it's not raining. The people are complaining, the crops are dying, it's not raining, Allah. Allah said, oh Musa, there's one person amongst you who has made such sins because of that person, there's no rain going to come. So Musa alayhi salam was strong, right? He came and said, whoever it is from you that's made the sins and because of him we're deprived of rain, get out of here. Get out. That person, in his heart or her heart, started making tawbah. And then soon after, a cloud came and rain fell. Musa a.s. then said, oh Allah, you said that someone was the cause of this rain being restricted. No one left. No one came. But the rain fell. Why is it, oh Allah? He said, oh Musa, the same person due to which the rain was restricted is now the reason that the rain is falling. Say subhanallah. He said, well, Allah, who is this person? I want to go meet them. Allah said, I never told you when they were a sinner. Why would I tell you now? Huh? when they come close to me. I said, if we want this to happen, let's go and turn to Allah. So some brothers and sisters are sitting there talking, "Are ye to acha nahi hua, hum is group ke saath kyun aaye, ye kya hua hamare saath?" I'm going to translate it. This is not right for us. Why do we come with this group? This is so wrong. Brothers and sisters, complaints of human being will never end. But yes, you will have some needs. Inshallah, ask Allah to facilitate them. Let me tell you what happened. People started making wudu. They started making wudu. Who had wudu, they started praying. Who just prayed, started reading Surah Yasin, and the bus from Jeddah pulled up. The bus from Jeddah pulled up. Everyone, subhanallah, we grabbed our luggage. We jumped into the bus. This bus went down the ramp. It made the turn, and our bus from Makkah came. We all jumped into our original bus because we had our seats and we had our luggage. And now guess what? We're the last of people leaving to Arafah. Make sense? Everyone's already on the traffic. We're the last one. The police officer said, "This bus on that road, opposite traffic. It's empty." We got to Arafah in 15 minutes. Subhanallah. We got there before people who left an hour or two before us because they were stuck in traffic. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you, He'll bring you. He'll pull you there. So mentally prepare yourself. Nothing's going to happen until Allah wants it. I could complain or I could ask Allah. What's the better out? What's the better out? Ask Allah and see how Allah does His way. That's mental preparation. Third preparation, physical. Physical preparation entails, brothers and sisters, mashallah, again, we're in America, drive through CVS pharmacy, 24-hour Walmart, Amazon that will be bringing our groceries with drones. We're very lazy. I can't walk. Imam, my back is hurting. I did tawaf. I can't walk and do sa'i. Is there kafara? Can I give $20? We get the amazing fatwas. We get the amazing questions from Americans. We should write a book on that. So, times come when my feet hurt. And I want to say something. And then I see an elder from Bangladesh who's maybe 90 years old and hunchback with a stick making tawaf. I complain when I'm walking to the Jamarat and I see an old lady holding her husband's hand and just walking faster than I am. And here I am complaining. Physical exercise is important. You need to know how to walk at least 2-3 miles before you leave next week. Get on that treadmill. You have the perfect climate right now because this mimics the climate of Makkah and Medina. Go outside in an early morning walk, late afternoon walk. Start drinking a lot of fluids. Keep yourself hydrated because according to the British Health Ministry and according to the Egyptian Health Authority, if you don't continue to drink, you will dehydrate and collapse. And I've seen many people fall like dominoes. The guy is walking, talking, and boom. Literally boom. You don't know what happened to the person. So drink, eat, sleep, walk, exercise. Very important for Hajj. Now we're going to take the physical preparation forward. Everyone's with me, inshallah? We talked about spiritual, we talked about mental. Let's talk about physical forward. Amongst the physical preparation is what we pack to take with us. Many of your groups may have given you a list or whatever else. Let me just touch on a few things. If you are going with your spouse or a brother or a sister or a family member, you're going to do this. You're going to share your luggage 50-50. Everyone's with me? Brother, you're going for Hajj, inshallah? Your wife is going with you, inshallah, or someone? No? No? Okay, so inshallah, let me just give an example. You're going with your wife, for example, right? Half of your clothing is in your suitcase. Half of your clothing is in her suitcase, right? And half of her suitcase clothing is in your suitcase. Why? Because there's a big possibility the airline will misplace it. And when you get there, at least you have one of the suitcases. Make sense? So remember, share luggage amongst family members. If it's you're taking your mother, father, whatever, share the luggage, inshallah. Number 2, if you're going to shop, which everyone does shop, take 2 suitcases from here. And the way you'll do it is you'll get a 30 or 31-inch suitcase, and you'll get a 27, 20-inch suitcase. You're going to pack the 27, 20-inch suitcase, and you're going to put it in the 31-inch suitcase. Make sense? So 2 suitcases in one. So when you start your shopping and your dates and books and whatever else, you could take that one out and fill that one up. Make sense? So take the extra luggage, because if you go to Ross or Burlington Coal Factory, you get them for 50, 60, 70 bucks. It's much cheaper than buying them from over there, because even their cheap versions is like 60 bucks and they will not even last the journey. So make sure you do 2 in 1, right? Now, clothing. I believe 5 to 7 pairs is adequate in addition to what you're wearing. It's more than enough. There are laundry facilities in Medina and Makkah scattered in different locations. And there's also laundry facilities in the hotels. Keep in mind, the laundry facilities in the hotels are 4 to 5 times more expensive than that outside, but you balance that out your budget. If you're going from American companies and groups that take you to the Hyatt or they take you to Hilton's and stuff, you cannot wash clothing in the room. It's against hotel policy. You might be fined for that. So 5 to 7 pairs is good of clothing. Now, what type of clothing do I take? If we have our, what we call culturally Islamic clothing, that's perfectly fine. If not, we take clothing which is modest. Sisters should always have loose kurta shawars, a loose top, everything, body should not show, the figure should not show. And same for the brothers. We're seeing an evolving trend in Makkah and Medina where the tight jeans have come in and people are wearing shirts and they don't even know what's written. I saw a person wearing a Heineken shirt there. And they don't even know what's written on it, right? It looks green and red. It looks nice, like maybe some type of football company or something. You have to know what you're wearing. Provocative clothing, clothing that has any type of pictures or messages are a no-no. Now people may say, what's wrong with wearing that to the masjid? Well, every area we acknowledge there is some type of a standard, a criteria, and we respect that. We don't go into a library screaming and saying, guess what, tough for you, I want to talk. No, we respect the forum and the area of a library. We acknowledge and we go according to that. Same way Islamically, brothers and sisters, please take good clothing. Undergarments, if you can, double up on undergarments, underwear and undershirts, because you will be sweating excessively there, and it's good to change those out more frequently. Socks are a good thing to have for brothers and sisters with a little grip on the bottom, you know, like the ones they give in the hospitals, which you can do tawaf in when you're not in the haram. It's better than wearing shoes. Many people wear shoes in the tawaf area, and they have good intentions. They're not shoes they wear outside. They're shoes they bought just for tawaf, but people start, hey, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, you have shoes on. So socks are good. If not for sisters, ballet shoes are good. Anything that can help your feet, because constant walking on the hard marble tends to crack your feet and causes some problems. So keep that on the side. Footwear for brothers and sisters. Sisters, take 2 pairs of whatever you like wearing. Of course, it shouldn't be high heels, it shouldn't be those wedges. Something that's simple to slip on and slip off. Brothers, V-shaped slippers which have good grip, not the $1 ones from Old Navy. Get some real good ones that have a good grip and good, padding to it. A company that I love using is called Ryder. It's a Brazilian company. They have good grip, and they also have good quality of rubber. And also any other type of slipper or sandal that you're comfortable wearing when you're not in the state of ihram. In addition to that, whatever toiletries you need to use, take them from here. If you need batteries, take them from here, because things are much more expensive over there. Medications, brothers and sisters. All your medication should be in its original bottles. In there? Everyone? I don't want everyone to sleep here. In there? Original bottles. So now, if you have like a big bottle like this and you only need a 3-week supplies, go to your pharmacy tomorrow, tell them to make you a bottle and a label for that medication that you'll put in. Why? Allah forbid you collapse or something happens, and you have one of those, you know, those little boxes, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday type of thing. If we get a doctor to come and help, we don't even know what those pills are. The doctor may know some, it may not know others. So keep them in those bottles, and if you can, keep some in your hand luggage, keep some in your suitcase. Okay? Allah forbid your hand luggage went missing, your suitcase went missing, you have some backup. If they run out, the pharmacies in Saudi Arabia are well equipped, the pharmacists are well educated, and they can get you whatever you need, inshallah, without a prescription. In addition to that, umbrella. Everyone should invest in a UV umbrella. In a UV umbrella. Don't just go pick up a Walmart umbrella. There's a very big difference between an umbrella for rain, an umbrella just for fashion, and an umbrella for UV. I got a UV umbrella, and I tell you, it drops 4 to 5 degrees under it than it does outside of it. And it protects you from the harmful rays. So get a UV umbrella. They could be anywhere from $20 to $60. But get something that is according to your budget and something that you can use. If you're going with a family member, each person should have their own umbrella. Make sense? Let's go to the next point. Any color. Any color, yeah. It doesn't matter. I would stay away from black because, of course, that kind of attracts heat. But the UV umbrellas have extra layers in the umbrella itself, which will repel. Even if it brings the light towards it, it then repels the UV rays. They're very amazing umbrellas, so that's something to invest in, inshallah. In addition to everyone, Propel. Write this down, Propel. Small Gatorade packets, they're powdered. You can get the Propel brand, which is from Gatorade, or you can get any other company, so long they replenish electrolytes. Don't get those Fruit Punch, Hawaiian Punch, or Tang. These are not what you need. You need something that replenishes your electrolytes. So make sure you get some of those. Get maybe 20, 30 of those. Those are very important because you'll be sweating so much you don't know how much you're losing. What else should we get? So we got the slippers, umbrellas, we got that, we got our toiletries. Brothers and sisters, your ihram clothing, if you're taking it from here, if you're going via Makkah first, you're going to put your ihram in your hand luggage. You're going to put your slippers in your hand luggage. You're going to put your belt in the hand luggage. Sisters are going to put their abaya or whatever they're wearing in their hand luggage, whatever else they want for the ihram in the hand luggage. Everyone's with me? That's if you're going Makkah first. So I'll be talking about these things, you note accordingly. Sisters and brothers should also invest in a neck pouch. A neck pouch is somewhere where you can keep your money and then hang it over your neck and wear it in a way. So how I always would do it is wear an undershirt, tuck your undershirt into your pants, wear the neck pouch inside of that. So if someone was to cut it or if something happens to it, it falls in your shirt. This is only when you're not in the state of ihram for brothers. And for sisters, this is something they could use throughout. You could get this from anywhere from Walmart to Ross to Marshall's, wherever you want to go, you could get these things. You could also get it online. That's very important. A neck pillow, a neck pouch. Other than that, I think we're kind of good. Whatever list your groups have given you, your agents have given you, just follow that. They know better. Yes, sunglasses. Again, invest smart, not spend like a crazy person. And I say this because some people go and buy $300 Maui gyms, or they buy $200, Ray-Bans, which are polarized. You could go to Walmart and go to the hunting and fishing section, and you could get polarized sunglasses for $5. Okay? So it doesn't have to be expensive to be effective. Just be smart on this. It should be polarized. It should be polarized because it's going to really help you. There's a lot of glare there because the sun shines intense and the marble is white, so it reflects. So you need your sunglasses, and yes, you could wear it during ihram. Sisters can also invest in a beach hat, which they can wear even in the state of ihram and give themselves some shade. That would be something good. If you're taking your children, and they're like under 12, invest in Safety First from Walmart. They have these bands which you connect from your hand to your child's hand. This is very important. It's really helpful. So now we got these things, and there's so many other suggestions which would come in. Now you pack your suitcases. Everyone with me? We put all these stuff in our suitcase. Our hand luggage has what we need for the duration of our journey. I would always request, even if you have your ihram in that suitcase, in your hand luggage, if you have space, put another pair of clothing in there just in case your suitcase doesn't arrive in time. Does that make sense? So have an extra pair of clothing, some medication, basic stuff for the journey itself. Now we will embark from here. Before leaving, we're going to do a few things. We're going to call everyone and say salam to them, or we're going to go meet them. Number 2, we're going to forgive everyone, and we're going to ask forgiveness from everyone. Remember one thing, it all goes down to, I'm sorry. A feud can last for generations because my great-grandfather was abused by his uncle or something, or, we could say, let's call it quits. If someone has done wrong to you, go ask forgiveness from them. Because if we're not going to forgive here, don't expect Allah to forgive there. If we're not going to show mercy here, we're not going to gain Allah's mercy there. Remember, it goes hand in hand. How we do with Allah's creation, Allah will do with us. Make sense? Call everyone, speak to everyone, go meet them and seek forgiveness from everyone. If there are debts, like I took $1,000 from you, it's not a structured loan. Either I pay it back to you, or I tell you that I'll pay it back when I come and make the brother a witness or something, make arrangements. If we're leaving our families behind, brothers and sisters, it's important that we make arrangements for their well-being until we return, inshallah. For the children, the spouse, pay your bills, whatever has to be done. Let's move on to logistics now. You're going to get to the airport 3 hours before your flight. How many hours, everyone? 3 hours. I'm going to talk generally here because I know every group and every company has their own things, but I'll tell you through experience what I think you need to do. Get there 3 hours before your flight. Remember, you are responsible of your luggage. The company is never responsible for your luggage. So you need to have hawk eye on your luggage all the time. You cannot say, oh, we hired them and they'll take care of it. No, that's the foolish thing. Many people make a mistake. Many of us have traveled before, yes or no? Domestically, internationally. Keep that mindset when you're going for Hajj also. You will check in, and on the counter, if you have even different flights, ask the agent on the counter that you want your luggage to your destination. So for example, I'm flying from Orlando to Dubai. From Dubai, I'm flying Fly Dubai to Medina. It's 2 different airlines. But I'm going to tell the agent on the counter, I want my baggage to Medina. At that time, they'll say, what's the flight number? You should have your itinerary at hand. Excuse me. So, brothers and sisters, write one more thing down. You should make multiple copies of your passport and your tickets and put in every bag. It should be with you and it should be in every bag. Excuse me. Every bag should have a copy of your itinerary and a copy of your passport. And if you're a green card holder or a visa holder, a copy of both of that. If it's a green card, the front and back. If it's a visa, a copy of the visa. It should be in every suitcase and every handbag. Got it? And also one on your person. So you show them the itinerary, make sure they did that. Now, when you get to your transition point, when I get to Dubai, for example, I'm going to go to the Fly Dubai counter, show them the tag, the suitcase tag, and make sure that that baggage is in their system and it's been transferred to the plane. This is your responsibility, brothers and sisters. Make sure you understand that. You will check into TSA. Let's go back a bit. You've checked in your luggage. You take your hand luggage, say salam to the family, go straight to the gate. We had 2 scenarios where in Jeddah, the family checked in and they went to the cafe to eat and they were talking and the flight took off. We had scenarios here where they were talking with families, and mashallah, you know how our Desi families are especially. We bring the whole khandan to the airport, right? You go to JFK, the whole khandan is coming. Who's going for Hajj? The agent gets scared after checking like 50 people. No, he's going for Hajj. Oh mashallah, but the whole khandan's there. Now they checked in, it's time for biryani and halim and the whole 9 yards. So they're all going to put dastakhan and sit down and eat. Guess what? The person could miss their flight. TSA logs these things from time you checked in. So the flight has some backing. Well, the person passed through TSA 20 minutes before. It's not our fault. Understand? Get through security. We all know protocol of security. Shoes off, belts, no liquids in the bag. If you're taking money, brothers and sisters, very clear. If you're taking money, international law states you're only allowed to take $10,000 per family. Per family. If you're an individual, you could carry up to $10,000 without claiming. If it's a family, it's $10,000 total. Gate agents will have security personnel, sometimes FBI, sometimes other agencies that will be standing there. And they will randomly pull someone over and say, how much money do you have? And you say, I have only $2,000. Okay, show me. They'll inspect. If they find more, you will be penalized the money can be taken away. Remember, we're living in a world where terrorism is being funded from different sources. You are a suspect or a potential suspect. They have the right to ask. You have the duty to be honest and truthful. So remember, do not lie. If you have more than 10,000, you can take it, but you have to declare it. If you don't declare it, you're in big trouble. This has happened with so many families, because I know they save up, they want to go buy gold and stuff, which is fine. I'll tell you something better. Take your credit cards. All of the Saudi gold stores, now most of the Saudi stores take credit cards. All you have to do is call your credit card company and say, I'm traveling on this day to these places, so they can put a release and not hold your credit card from those transactions being complete. Take a credit card, take less cash. As for cash, brothers and sisters, take large notes only. Take $100 or $50 bills. Because when it comes to exchanging those bills, you will have problems, especially if they're 20s, 10s, and 5s, and also if they're the old $100 notes. So take newer notes. Another thing is, exchange them in Medina. Don't exchange in Makkah, because Makkah has limited access to exchange facilities, and the rate is less in Medina. Now you get into the plane, you make your journey. If you're taking something like Lufthansa or United or Delta to Europe, whatever you're taking, call ahead of time and do arrangement for halal food or for vegetarian food, whatever you want. This is important. That's your responsibility, not your agent's responsibility. When you get to your transition point, like Dubai, wherever else, it's your responsibility to ensure that your luggage has been handled. It's your responsibility that you check back in and get to the gate for your next flight on time. This is your responsibility. Take care of your own hand luggage. And if you're traveling with Emirates, be cautious, because Emirates has this weird policy that they enforce at some times, which is, I think, 7 kilos, one piece only. So if you go from here with 2 pieces, a backpack and a handbag, they will tell you literally, throw one away. Sisters, if you go with a handbag and a purse, they'll tell you, throw one away. I never realized that, because we were transiting, there was these boxes, and there's so many nice things. And I took a picture of it, and I'm like, man, this is so nice. People are donating things. Then I realized when I was checking on the way back, and I had 2 handbags, I had to go and check it in for $180. So don't follow that. Just take one handbag, keep it simple, keep it light. You don't know, airline policies change in flight. They'll change until you get to your destination. Now you get to Medina or Jeddah. If you're going to Jeddah, going to Makkah first, you're going to wear your ihram where? Dubai, Istanbul, Athens, London, wherever you're transiting, you're going to wear your ihram. And we'll talk about that procedure soon. If not, you're going to get to Medina in your regular clothing. Now, brothers and sisters, this is a journey of patience. This is a journey of reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes people abuse the word patience, so I want to kind of clarify that. Patience means understanding that there's going to be a process of time, and I have to do what I need to do so long the people around me are doing what they need to do, right? When you get to the airport, in both scenarios, you're going to step down from the plane, walk down the stairs, go into a bus. It's going to take you to the airport. When you get to the airport, you're going to fill out a form. If you never filled it up on the plane, you're going to sit in a holding area. You're going to then go to the line. Then you're going to go meet an agent. The agent's going to take your biometrics, your fingerprints, and your photo. They're going to talk to you. They're going to stamp your passport. After that, you're going to walk 3 steps. A doctor's going to be standing there. He's going to check your meningitis certificate if it's inside your passport. So, if you have your passports back already from your agents, do not remove anything. Do not change anything. And 2 years back and before that, a check would be stapled in your passport. That check is payable to the Saudi government. It's what you pay, that $300 fee. Many people would think that's a refund check. They would rip it out and keep it at home. And now you get to the airport, they're saying, where's the check? And there's no check, because a Haji said, mashallah, I got a lottery ticket before I went for Hajj. And now the group has running around. Where do we get this money from to pay for his check? And guess what's happening? Everyone's being delayed. Alhamdulillah, now it's a barcode, but there's going to be a lot of stickers on your passport. It has many purposes that you don't understand. Leave it the way it is. Inshallah, Leave the passport the way it is. Now, the meningitis certificate is injection you took, the doctors will check it. If they don't see it, even though it's common sense, you cannot get a visa unless you had this certificate and taken the vaccination, they will make you take another one. They will make you take another one. And you could look forward to sore arm for 2 days and maybe a low-grade fever. So make sure you keep that in your passport. After that, you're going to go downstairs, grab your luggage. If it's in Medina, you'll go downstairs, grab your luggage. They will take your passports from you, and they will start processing for the bus. In Jeddah, they will take your passports from you, and then you will go find your luggage. In both scenarios, your luggage is going to move places. You and the group move with your luggage because there's thousands and tens of thousands of suitcases moving at the same time. If you think it's going to go where you think it's going to go, it's not going there. So follow it, okay? At that time, what I'm telling you, this process so far could be anywhere between 90 minutes to 6 hours. Hear me clearly. 90 minutes to 6 hours between Medina and Jeddah. Jeddah used to be the 6 to 8 hours always. Now Jeddah sometimes is actually 1 or 2 hours. And Medina used to be 45 minutes. Now Medina sometimes is 3 hours or more. It all depends on when the flight came, how many flights came at the same time. It's all about logistics. And I promise you, the Saudi government is on top of things beyond your understanding and comprehension. They are really on top of things, mashallah. They have a good system in place, even though you may not see it outwardly. So now when your buses are ready, you're going to go to Medina or you're going to go to Mecca. In both cases, you're going to go to your destination. You're going to ensure that your bag gets on the bus and your bag gets off the bus. Once it gets to your room, you will spend your days in Medina, you'll spend your days in Mecca. Brothers and sisters, I don't want to go into those details now because I feel it's not relevant to overwhelm, and I think it's useless in sometimes, to overwhelm the Haji. You're going to go do this and do this and do this, and like, I can't think straight. Every day we should be getting a heads up of what's happening that day and the next day. And we should be reading a few things of, if I'm in Medina, where's Riyadul Jannah? Where's Jannatul Baqi? Where's the Rawda? Where is this? Just read up and know some history. Because let me tell you something. If we know the seerah, if we ever read the seerah, the entire Medina is the masjid. The current masjid right now was the entire masjid, was entire Medina. And the Sahan is outside of Medina. And today the city of Medina it's humongous. But the entire Medina at the time of Rasulullah ﷺ was the masjid as it is today. So read up on some seerah. Read up on some duroods that you can recite. And make some intentions of some tahajjuds you want to read. In Makkah, your umrah will be done. In Makkah, tawafs may be done. Brothers and sisters, especially from the subcontinent, have this understanding. We have to make umrahs. It's good. Many Saudi scholars may tell you otherwise and say, hey, you do one umrah and it's done. Yes, you could put ihram on, go to Masjid Aisha, Tan'im, and make ihram and come back, or you go to Ji'irana, which is 70 kilometers away, and come back. But I tell you something, a faster act of worship, which is more rewarding, is tawaf. So after maybe prayers, go make an intention, make tawaf, 7 rounds, pray 2 rak'ah, and you're getting more rewards, and you're doing more at one time. Make sense? So make some tawaf. Sit in front of the Kaaba, look at the Kaaba, read Quran, make dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the best way of spending your time in both areas. To minimize the logistical problems for both, I would say, sisters and brothers, if you want to do shopping, which everyone does, do it in Medina. Medina is cheaper, Medina has more selection, get it done quickly in Medina. And you will have some time between prayers to do that. Makkah, focus to spend all your time in the haram. Because we don't know when Allah will call us again, yes or no? So we need to go there and we need to maximize our time. So get the shopping and stuff taken away in Medina, inshallah. As for how to do Umrah, how to do Hajj, these are things we'll just outline and I will conclude with that. Before I do that, I want to explain to you one thing. You are not going to Hajj because you had the money to do so. You're not going to Hajj because you're better than people in your community. You're not going to Hajj because you prayed more in the masjid. You're going to Hajj because Allah has delegated you. You have been delegated on behalf of your family, your community, and the entire ummah. And as conditions in our world continue to deteriorate, those going for Hajj have a greater responsibility. Because how they do in Hajj will dictate how the next year will go. The more we can wrap things up closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's how the future next year will be. So brothers and sisters, we have to be open to adjustments and change. We have to be open to some inconvenience and to be a bit patient, because in pursuing what we have to and going through these hurdles, we will insha'Allah, say insha'Allah, accomplish why Allah sent us there. If not, we can waste our entire day in the Hilton Hotel watching TV as the prayer is going on in the masjid and you hear it on the mic, on the speaker in your room. May Allah protect us from that. Say Ameen. May Allah give us the ability to honor and revere this place and to maximize the benefit from it. Ameen. So for that, go with this understanding. I've been delegated. Just like how the Olympics happen, teams, countries come out. In these countries are representatives of their country in their respective sports. Their pride is that they're representing this country. Remember, you are representing the entire ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Go with that understanding. Go with that understanding. In Makkah and Medina, as I said, in Umrah and Hajj, I'm going to give an outline. Let's talk about Ihram. Does anyone have a sheet? If not, I'll use this. That shouldn't be a problem. Anyone have a sheet? No? Let's use this, inshallah. Bismillah. Brothers and sisters, the biggest problem, especially for the brothers, is how to tie the Ihram. And I want those who have an Ihram to start practicing tying it from today, and even walking around the house with it. Don't go outside with it. You know, dhoti pen ke bahar jana, someone will get scared what's going on here, right? Just wear it around the house. And also, brothers and sisters, start sleeping on the floor. Sleep on the floor tonight, sleep up on the bed tomorrow. Get used to the change, because it's not going to be home regardless where you go. So what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to keep this here. Now brothers, the Ihram lower piece has always been a problem. And people get so frustrated because of this. Their Umrah and Tawaf and their Hajj is ruined. It's ruined because of two reasons. Either because it feels so weird, or because they forget it's on. Now those who forget it's on, is they will sit in the tents with the legs, up, and man, the sun is shining. We don't want that stuff, okay? We're in Ihram. So brothers and sisters, be cautious and aware. But I'll teach you a way, a method that I've been using for many, many years, which mashallah was taught by my teachers, what I feel is the most effective way. And you can feel comfortable in that, inshallah. So what you're going to do with the Ihram is you'll take one of the sheets. They're both the same size. You're going to put it behind your back. You put it behind your back and just even it out on both sides. MashaAllah, this could be long enough. Keep it a bit above your waistline, so bring it up to half your back as it would be, and bring both sides together. Everyone's with me so far? Right? If I go too fast, tell me to pause or stop. Now you got these two sides together. Take it to one of those two sides. Take it to your right side or left side, whatever you're comfortable with. Right? Inshallah. Place your opposite hand, snug it against your chest or your abdomen, fold it in. Right? Now the Ihram is much longer than this, so you can actually fold it back out. Right? What I've done here is I've made 3 layers of protection. And in doing these 3 layers of protection, if it's open, can you see anything here? No? If it opens this way, can you see anything here? There's 3 layers. It actually goes back and actually comes this way. You will do flip and flop, right? Once you do that, and then what you do is you go put your Ihram belt or your pouch here, where you put your money, your cell phone, or room key, and then you will fold it over. And when you fold it over it, right, I'll just fold it up. Now this is your Ihram. In this, you could walk with so much ease. There's so much comfort. You could actually sit cross-legged in this. Of course, it's not long enough, but you could sit cross-legged and it's no problem. So again, we'll do it one more time. Many people, what they do is they take the Ihram cloth, and what they do is they just start wrapping around themselves, like they're mummifying themselves. So they're doing this, right? They're wrapping around. And then it gets too tight. So what they do, they lift it higher and higher and higher. What happens? Their knees are showing. Your knees cannot show. Your belly button cannot show. Right? This is the awrah for the brothers, from the belly button, inclusive of the belly button, to below the knee. So the best way, again, you guys tell me how to do it. You all tell me. What do I do first? Put it around the back. So I'll just do this. How do I put it behind my back? Tell me. Center it, mashallah. Center it. There we go. So we have it. So if this is centered, now what do I do next? Bring them together. Okay, bring them together. And then, brother, what did you say? Take it to one side. Good. And then what do I do? Tuck it down. Okay, make it snug. Fold it in. And then fold it out. Right? Put your belt. Fold over the belt. Guess what? No one can see your belt. And if you want to access your belt, just push the top part up. The back is still good. Right? You don't even have to pin it. Many brothers are getting those big, you know the older days diapers? We used to wear in the 80s and stuff, those safety pins. You got a whole bunch of those pins coming around. No, this is going to be very, very inconvenient, right? And you're going to make ihram, you're going to make tawaf. Either people walk like a penguin because it's so tight, or the worst thing is the thighs rub, and we'll talk about that. So the easiest way is to do it in that method, inshallah. Does that make sense, brothers? Do it tonight if you have your ihram. If not, get a bed sheet. Because some of us have not gotten our ihram because we may be going Medina first, and they'll give it to you in Medina. So what you do is get a bed sheet and start doing with a bed sheet, inshallah. Practice that. Because you're going to be in that for maybe 6 to 12 hours or more, maybe 18 hours for your umrah. And you're going to be in it for 3 days during the Hajj. Now, one more thing you should add to your list. The thighs, because you're bare, are going to rub against each other. And that could cause a lot of sore and maybe blisters. So people use Vaseline. Vaseline could be good, but there's some type of a lubricant. I forgot the name of it. We were just... There's Gold Bond. Some people say you could... There's one of those underarm rubs that you have, and there's also, if I find my phone... Okay. Glino, right? Thank you. It's a water-based type of thing. It doesn't stick to clothing. It doesn't water down with the sweat also, because what happened with the Vaseline is that due to the excessive heat, the Vaseline kind of wears off, it rubs off, and you're in a problem. So inshallah, we'll get that name. Sorry? They sell them at the Academy store. So inshallah, people use different techniques. Some would use yeast powder or something, but again, with the sweat, it may wash off. But look for that type of lubricant. It's water-based. It doesn't stain. It stays on despite sweat. And because your legs are going to constantly, your thighs are going to constantly rub, and you don't want that to become a problem, inshallah. And that would be either when something actually starts, because it doesn't last too long. Halfway through your sa'i, it's already going to be gone. Because remember, you're going to be wearing it either from, just say Turkey. You're going to be wearing from Turkey to Jeddah to Makkah, then Thar, or you can wear it from Medina to your hotel, then to the Haram. It's going to be on for quite a while. So if I'll get that, and I'll try to share it on the Masjid Facebook, inshallah. So now we got these things covered. What is Umrah? Let me talk about it briefly. 3 things. You're going to put your ihram on. You're going to make your tawaf. You're going to make 2 rak'ah, and then you're going to make sa'i. Sorry, that's 4. And then you're going to cut your hair. That's 5. So basically, when you put your ihram on, brothers and sisters, you're going to enter the haram. You're going to understand that this isn't a race. Many people talk about, I did Umrah in 45 minutes, 50 minutes. This is not a race. Don't rush. This is your experience. This is your story. Go into the haram. Keep your gaze down. Your ihram is already on. Go towards the Kaaba as close as you can and not obstruct anyone's path. Look up at the Kaaba and make dua. Spend as much time as you need to make dua. Cry to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Learn to cry. This is something we have to start from right now, because we need to shed tears. And if we can't cry for ourselves, cry for other people. Then you will merge into the tawaf. They'll teach you about the upper ihram, that your right shoulder has to be exposed. You will start your 7 rounds from the black stone, and you will end at the black stone. A tawaf is 7 rounds and 2 rak'ah. What is tawaf? 7 rounds and 2 rak'ah. Any tawaf you do, it's 1 round is called a shout. 7 round is a shwat. There's 7 rounds and 2 rak'ah. This consists of a tawaf. So you're going to make your 7 rounds. At that time, many brothers and sisters say, I want to go touch the Kaaba. I want to break away from the group. Oh, don't worry, we got it. No, you don't. Keep your emotions in check. Follow what your group tells you. If they put you part of a group that's going to do Umrah together, you're staying with them. If the Imam decides to stay on the furthest corner out, you're staying there. Don't jeopardize yourself. I want to go touch a black stone. No, you could do that after. You're in ihram right now. The samhallah, your ihram will come off. That's how much pressure there is over there. And sisters also, sometimes husbands grab their wives' hands and go, let's go touch the Kaaba. Her hijab is being yanked and stuff. Brothers and sisters, let's do what we need to do first. Make your tawaf. Pray 2 rak'ah anywhere in the masjid. Pray 2 rak'ahs anywhere in the masjid. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, take the area of Maqam Ibrahim, it's not literal. Because think about it. There's like 1 million people. They're all going to pray by Maqam Ibrahim? Huh? Remember, the best Hajj and Umrah are 2 things. Make this notation. Number 1 is you help others. Number 2, you're never a harm to others. Some people will start praying right in the middle of where people are doing tawaf. Why? Because they want to do their Maqam Ibrahim. Allah forbid someone trips over you and someone falls on them. People will die because of our inability to understand what's reality and our emotions. As to keep your emotions in check. If you pray your 2 rak'ah anywhere in the masjid, it's fine. Pray your 2 rak'ah, make dua. Then go to Safa Marwa. There are multiple floors. I believe there's 8 floors now. Because between 2 floors, there's an electric floor for the carts, and there's actually 1 walkway. So in that, wherever your group takes you, it's all the same. It's all the same, right? If they tell you you have to go tawaf upstairs, still tawaf, it's a bit longer, but it's fine. Now that you finish your Safa Marwa, you finish your tawaf, you then cut your hair. Brothers and sisters, brothers can cut or shave. Sisters will trim up to get in a pura, like 1 inch basically, or whatever they can, and you are now out of ihram. Make sense? Very simple, right? Remember, people do this in Hajj seminars. Either they talk too much about logistics, or they talk too much about fiqh, or they tell you don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Respect to all of those. But you know what? Find a meaningful experience. When you look at the Kaaba, what are you supposed to experience? When you say Bismillahi Allahu Akbar and you do istilam, which nowadays many people don't do. They just wave. Someone give high fives and waving. Turn. Rasulullah SAW, when he took for Hajj, he was on a camel because he was teaching the Sahaba. But he took his stick, he touched the black stone and he kissed it. When you make istilam, you turn to the Kaaba. That's the only time you turn to the Kaaba. And you say Bismillahi Allahu Akbar. And you kiss your hand. There's no blowing kisses, there's no waving. You do istilam the way Rasulullah SAW taught us to do that. In your tawaf, you don't move around. Many people let me ask you, brother, if in salah I'm standing, and I turn like this, and I turn like that, what happens to my prayer? Gone, right? Because my focal point has moved from the qibla. My body has moved from the qibla. Same way in your tawaf, your left shoulder is always facing the Kaaba. Someone might push you. Stand right back straight. We don't have to keep on turning around this way, that way. Your tawaf, that round is being nullified. So keep these things in mind. Keep your eyes down, make your tawaf. If you want to look at the Kaaba, that's fine. Keep the pictures, the selfies, keep those for after, you know. And I'll say one thing, brothers and sisters. Taking pictures for the sake of education, whatever else, fine. But don't use the Kaaba as a backdrop for your pictures. Never take a picture with the Kaaba in your back. This is not Las Vegas. This is not Niagara Falls. This is the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So don't disrespect the Kaaba, please. Now it's time for Hajj, brothers and sisters. We'll finish with this. You'll put your ihram on from Azizia or Makkah, wherever you are. The process of ihram is 5 steps. How many steps for ihram, everyone? Is ihram the cloth? Yes or no? Thank you. I like that word. That's all I say. What is it? State. It's a state. It's not clothing. Brothers, you could change this thing every 20 minutes. Sisters, you could change your clothes every hour. That's not ihram. Ihram is a state that you willingly enter to make haram on yourself those things which are halal outside of it only because of your earnest desire to connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah forbid someone calls you. Your daughter or son had an accident in the hospital. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Someone give you a call, what are you going to do? You're going to go to hospital, right? Even if you're sleeping, you're going to go to hospital, yes or no? Are we going to wake up, brush our teeth, take a shower, look in our wardrobe? What are we going to do? Bagging in, huh? We're going to run. Doesn't matter if we have chappals on or we have our nightie on, we're going to run. So we're saying, oh Allah, I'm coming to you. We say, Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Allah, I'm coming to you. I'm here, Allah. I am desperate to meet you. I'm desperate for you to acknowledge my presence. I won't care about cutting my nails. I don't care about brushing my teeth. I'm coming to you. These debates could happen in fiqh. Is it permissible to brush your teeth? Does it have to be unscented? Just let it be. Use a miswak. I'm coming to Allah. Come in a state that you don't care about who you are. You care about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the state of ihram has 5 steps. Number 1 is, of course, you will clean yourself, shower or wudu. Number 2 is that you will put on your ihram clothing, either the sheets for the men or the sisters, whatever they want to wear. There's no restrictions on the sister, except they don't cover their hands, they don't cover their face. Number 3, we'll pray 2 rak'ah if possible. If you can pray 2 rak'ah for ihram, that's fine. If not, that's okay. Number 4, you'll make intention. I'm putting this ihram on for umrah. I'm putting this ihram on for hajj. I'm putting this ihram on for umrah and hajj. That's qiran, right? You know there's the 3 types of hajj. And then you'll say, Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Now you're in the state of ihram, right? So you'll do that on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah from Azizia or Makkah, wherever you are, and you will go to Mina. What do you do in Mina all day? What do you do in Mina all day? People say, oh, you have to pray 5 prayers. Yes, you have to pray Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, Fajr. But what do you do? Huh? Dua in ibadah is good also. But I would say this is a day of reflection. Give yourself some time. Because now you were sleeping in a room with 3 other brothers or 3 other sisters. Now you're sleeping next to them. They're literally next to you. And it's so congested. Think, I'm in my grave tomorrow. I'm in my grave now. What do I want to see there? How do I want it to be? Would I be able to answer those 3 questions or not? In between prayer, there's going to be speeches and talks, and there's going to be food. Brothers and sisters, during the days of Hajj, eat light. The days leading up to Hajj, eat light. Don't go eat something that you're not used to eating. Oh, they got oysters. Let me try oysters. If you never tried oysters before and something happens to you, Allah forbid, your Hajj is in trouble, right? So take it easy on the food. So the day of Mina is reflection. Next day you go to Arafah. From the time of Zawal all the way to the time of Maghrib, you will pray, make dua, standing, sitting, lying down, crying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for yourself, for your family, for the ummah, for people you know, for people that know you. Keep on praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That night you will then go to Muzdalifah. In Muzdalifah, it's going to be the rocky sand, maybe a small mattress or sleeping bag, whatever you have. That night also pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah made du'as in Arafah. Then he made a dua that wasn't accepted in Arafah. He made it in Muzdalifah. So go and keep on making dua, because that mimics you standing in front of Allah for your hisab. On the day of Eid, which is the 3rd day of Dhul Hijjah, the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, is going to be the most busiest day. You wake up in the morning in Muzdalifah. You pray Fajr, inshallah. You then go to Mina. When you get your tent in Mina, you eat breakfast, inshallah. Then you will go and pelt one of the shaitans. In regards to pelting, brothers and sisters, it's no anger, it's no emotions, it's resolutions. Every time you throw a stone, you make a resolution that that one sin that you like doing, you're going to distance yourself. I had a brother who came Hajj with us, and he was an alcoholic. He used to drink like no tomorrow. And subhanAllah, after Hajj, even the smell of alcohol would make him vomit. Make resolutions when you go to Jamrah, and you just flick your hand and say, Bismillahi Allahu Akbar, Bismillahi Allahu Akbar. You're doing exactly what Rasulullah told us to, but you're doing it because you're making resolutions. If you take more stones and throw it at the shaitan, or you take bigger stones and throw it at the shaitan, or you just swear, you have done against the sunnah, and it's not going to be effective. Give shaitan 3 paper cuts. You know why? Because when you entered Arafah, let me pause here. Just because you have a visa, are you going for Hajj? No. Just because you got to Medina, are you in Hajj? No. Just because you're in Makkah, are you in Hajj? No. Just because you got to Mina, are you in Hajj? No. The second you enter into Arafah, this is a sign that you are now in Hajj. This is the sign that Allah has truly accepted you. This is the moment where shaitan stands outside of Arafah and he cries and he screams, and my whole life effort on you is gone, destroyed. Because the second you stood into Arafah and you made dua, Allah has accepted your du'as. Allah has accepted your du'as. Allah has accepted your forgiveness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you a new chance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you birth like a newborn baby. It's done. Now you're going to go give shaitan those paper cuts. In this life now, I don't want those things. In this life, I don't want stealing. In this life, I don't want no adultery. In this life, I don't want no alcohol. I'm going to make these resolutions. And you'll do it for 3 days. But on this day of Hajj, the third day, the day of Eid, there's no Eid prayer for the Hajis. You're going to go and pelt the shaitan. And then you will go, inshallah, and wait for the udhiyah, the slaughter, to be done. And when the slaughter is done and they inform you, you will then take a shower and get out of ihram. You're going to cut your hair first, take a shower and get out of ihram. For those going as couples, let me make this thing very clear. Ihram, you are out after you shave your head, you pelted, animal was slaughtered, you shaved your head, you're out of ihram. Yes? But no relationship until tawaf is done. Any relationships before that will be a dam. So you're not out of ihram fully, you're 90% out of ihram. So husband, wife is still haram on each other until the tawaf of Hajj is complete. Many people don't know that. So now you'll go and make tawaf in your regular clothing. You'll make sa'i in your regular clothing. This is the day of goodness, day of Eid. And in the final 2 days, you'll pelt the shaitan, the small, the medium, the large. Keeping in mind, we will help one another. Keeping in mind, we'll never harm anyone. We will not push anyone. Just because we want to get to the front, we will not compromise hurting someone for the sake of reward. I'll give you 2 scenarios and I'm finished. I had a very dear friend, which I still have, alhamdulillah. His father went for Hajj. This is ibrah. This teaches us ibrah. He went to a restaurant in Makkah, ordered the food. The brother brought him the food. He took a bite, and to him it was not to his liking. It was cold. So he picked up the plate and threw it at the waiter. Unfortunately, we see a lot of arrogance, and I'm saying this out of all due respect, in Americans and British. A lot of arrogance, because our money has some weight there. At one time, the South Africans, 1 rand was 7 riyals. Now, 5 or 6 rands is 1 riyal. I've seen brothers with beards longer than me, mashallah, standing in front of Pizza Hut cursing at the person. You know, in Britain we get better pizza like this. I don't care. This is not Britain. You're nobody. The king will wear 2 sheets. A rich man will wear 2 sheets. A poor man will wear 2 sheets. You're nobody. Don't harm anyone. He threw that plate and said, go feed it to your father. What came from that man's heart? Curse, right? Curse came from his heart. Did you know for 13 years this man could not eat? He died with a feeding tube. He could not eat for 13 years. You go to Makkah and make your future. You could go to Makkah and destroy your future. You're not privileged because you're going for Hajj. I'm saying it to myself also. Don't harm anyone. Don't gain anyone's curse. And Makkah is where the heat is. Makkah is where husband and wife will fight. Makkah is where you will bring your macho-ness. I always remember this story. In Makkah, I prayed Azhar in the Tawaf area, and I was coming out by King Abdul Aziz's door. This is many years ago. And it was so much congestion, I was literally floating. You know, because people who are walking, they're just dragging you. You have no access to your hands or your feet. You're just being dragged. There's so many people moving. And these 2 old ladies next to me, one right on this side, one on this side. Someone must have pushed her. You get pushed, you might push someone. Now at that time, you hold that brother and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Even though it wasn't your fault, I'm sorry, right? She got pushed. She turned around and started cursing her. And she started cursing her back. Kaaba's right there. I was saying, please sister, don't. I was telling them in the language. And they kept going. And then the sister, I couldn't raise my hands because my hands are tied down, like so much pressure. She got her hand up and she punched her in the face. What did she do? She punched. An old lady punched an old lady. I'm like, she might have not even killed a fly in her life. And she punched her. Because in Makkah, all this heat and rage comes. Control yourself. Control your emotions. If you and your family have a dispute, just separate from each other for a while. Go make tawaf, go make dua. Don't fight there, because rewards are multiplied there and so are your sins. Anywhere else you sin, it's one. But if you sin there, it's multiplied. One prayer is how much in Makkah? And how much is one sin? 100,000. It's not a joke. So be very careful. What you do on a daily basis, how you do it, this is for another time, which you will do as you go along. My last request is, make a list of all those people who said you're going for Hajj, they want dua from you. Take their name. Write down what they want. It's an amana. What is it? Amana. Don't go there and say, oh Allah, sabne pucha, jisne pucha, jo bhi pucha, de do unko. Huh? That is so disrespectful. Whoever asks, whatever they ask, give it to them. Astaghfirullah. Imam, brother, my daughter has cancer, make dua for her. What's her name? Her name is Safiya. Write it down, Safiya. Daughter of this person has cancer, make dua for them. Make dua for them in Medina. Give their salam to Rasulullah. If someone told you, give my salam, it's amana. Don't say, Ya Rasulullah, they said it, here it is. No, take it. Ya Rasulullah, salam to you from this brother, this sister, give it. Write these things down. And your du'as that you have to make are du'as that you make from your heart. Don't spend your last days and hours memorizing du'as. These are good du'as. But if you can, focus on what you need to ask Allah. Does Allah understand Punjabi and Urdu and Hindi and all the darijas of Arabic? Does Allah understand these? He does, right? Speak in your own language and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't be so stuck on a book. Okay, here we have to read Rabbi ighfir warham. Here we have to read Rabbana atina fid dunya. Do your tawaf. Make your dua. Ask from your house, from your heart. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept everyone's hajj. Say Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept everyone's du'as of khair. Say Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take the pilgrims to pilgrimage safely. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala utilize them for the sake of His deen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring forth goodness from their actions. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala return them back to families, salimeen, ghanimeen. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. We went too far ahead. Brothers and sisters, questions please. Anyone who has questions, Bismillah. Questions about logistics, questions about Hajj, packing, whatever else, please, you're free to ask, inshallah. Yes, brother. Okay. If you could use it, then the sisters will understand the question also. If we give it to them, it's not working? Okay. I'll repeat it. Continue, I'll repeat the question. So let me cover 2 points. So brother's asking, just say you took a shower and then you put Vaseline and you touch yourself, do you have to make wudu again? According to some school of thoughts, if you touch your private parts, you have to make wudu, right? Many of these rules, many of the scholars would even agree, like if you touch a woman, أَوْلَا مَسْتُمُ النِّسَاء. According to Hanafi school of thought, that means a relationship, where according to some school of thoughts, if you just touch, right? Now over there in tawaf, you're going to touch because everyone's touching each other. It's haraj. Because of the haraj and inability to apply that rule, it won't work. But if you can refrain from touching yourself, it would be better. Because I understand sometimes the Vaseline's there, sometimes it feels irritated. So try to minimize that. In regards to the bath, I want to speak about this also. Before you get into ihram, you could use whatever shampoo you want. You could use whatever soap you want. You could use whatever deodorant you want. You could use whatever perfume you want. Anything. It's all legit. Now you put your ihram on and you enter the state, now you can't. The difference is you put the perfume on your body, the deodorant on your body, Axe, spray, Old Spice, whatever, on your body, not on your ihram. Ihram cannot have this, it could be on your body. Make sense? Inshallah. Same for the sisters. Take a shower, use whatever soap they want to use, whatever deodorant. This is all before ihram, but not when you enter the state of ihram. Inshallah.
Sisters, there is mic upstairs too. One of the sisters might have any question, you can use that mic.
Yes, brother.
Could you enlighten us for brothers who are in the state of ihram and wearing ihram? So, in terms of like using a sheet or a blanket to cover yourself during during sleeping. So I know you can't cover your face, but is it?
So what happens is brothers have more restriction than sisters do when it comes to the state of ihram. Brothers cannot wear any undergarments. We cannot cover our face or our head. We can use an umbrella because it's not directly touching our head, but we cannot cover our head, our face. Our footwear has to make sure that our ankles and our upper bone is exposed. But when you go to sleep, you could put a blanket over yourself. Just make sure that when you're going to sleep, you don't cover your face. But if you wake up with your face on your pillow or a sheet over your head, it's fine. Some people get really, I was making wudu Imam and the hair came out. What do I do now? Okay, take it easy, no problem, just move on. At the end of it, give a small sadaqah, it's fine. This is what you call deliberate things. If you're going to deliberately cover up your face and go to sleep, then that's a problem. But there will be a lot of mistakes during the state of ihram. It's going to happen. And you have to expect it. But this is part of the process that you will see in 2-3 days of Hajj in the state of ihram, that you had the ability to stop something which was habitual outside of ihram. If you have the ability to do that, you surely have the ability to stop those habitual harams which are happening outside of the Hajj, right? So this is a mental thing. Number 2 is when you take that shower and you get back into your regular clothing, you feel so amazed. Amazed that, I feel fresh. That's the freshness we want to feel when we die from this world and we go into our graves. We want to feel that freshness, So there's a lot of similarities and examples that could be put. But if a hair comes out while you're making wudu, or you touch soap by mistake, just see you touch it. Oh, I touched it. Wash it off. But yeah, if you lathered your whole hand, just wash it off, then you got a problem. We'll talk about that later. But I don't like talking about don'ts. I talk about just do this. The hiccups will happen. We can take care of it after.
So you can cover your feet though with the blanket.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Yeah. And I kind of know, but I just want to go through it. It's like, so if I take it, because we're going to Makkah first.
Okay.
So what if I don't get a chance to shower, but I take a shower before, like here at home, and then I don't get to take a shower while putting on ihram? So that's fine, right?
So what happens is that thank you for asking that question. When you will leave from home, you'll take a shower like you take for Jummah. You'll wash your hair and everything else. You'll clean your pubic hair, cut your nails, all the stuff. You'll clean up as you're doing for ihram. Once you're in Frankfurt or Turkey or somewhere, you may not have the facility to do so. At that time, you will just make wudu, right? And then you will put the ihram on and you pray 2 rakats. If you can't pray the 2 rakah, for whatever reason, just let that go. Make sure you make your ihram. Put your ihram on. This is the best way to do it. If it's an opinion, just you're in Turkey and you have like 2 hours layover. You get to your gate. The first thing you do is go put those sheets on. Many people say, I'm going to put on the plane. Good luck. If you're in Saudi Airlines, many people, they do is also wrong. They go to the musalla in the back of the plane, which is designated for prayer. They hijack it and they start putting their ihram on over there. I'm like, brothers, this is so wrong. People have to pray here. You can't take your handbag, open it up, tell people to hold the sheets around so they can't. No, put it on in the airport, put the ihram on, pray a 2 rakah, and when you board the plane, when you board the plane and the plane takes off, now make your ihram niyyah and say the labbaik. Some also say, you know what? Why are we doing this? Let me stop here. Why are we doing this? Because just say you made the niyyah and labbaik in the airport, and then you go out towards the gate and say, guess what? The flight is late for 12 hours. Now you're in the state of ihram. You have nothing. You can't do anything. You can walk around in this and not be in the state of ihram. But once you did the 5-step procedure, you're stuck. So wait till the plane takes off. As for those who say, well, wait till the captain or the pilot announces it, yes, they do. And yes, they are very accurate. They will say, we will be passing the miqat in 15 minutes from now. We are now passing the miqat. Yes, they do, and it's legit. But you know what the problem is? You might have knocked out and went to sleep. And you enter the miqat without ihram. So the best way is put it on in your transition point. Make the niyyah and say labbaik once the plane takes off, because inshallah you'll be arriving at your destination within a few hours. Inshallah. Jazakallah. Inshallah. Sisters, please, you can ask questions also, inshallah. Anyone? Any question? Nothing is wrong. We should ask questions because, again, this is a very different and unique journey. So the more we understand, the better it is, inshallah.
The same as in
Thank you. So the outlets there is different. I think we're 110 here and they're 220. Their voltage is different. The outlets are two types. One is the British outlet. They're like the 3 prongs, but they're thicker. Or they're the 2 small circular ones. You could buy an adapter from Walmart or Burlington Coal Factory. It's a universal adapter. Or when you get to Saudi Arabia, don't go to the major stores like Bin Dawood. Just go to one of the side stores. They have adapters for 5 riyals, 10 riyals, and they're perfectly fine. But if you could buy from here, it would be nice also, inshallah. You could find in Medina also, yes. At? Oh, you have, brother has it at the Oasis Market also, mashallah. So, mashallah, he has it too, alhamdulillah. Brother had a question, yes. Yes. So brother's just asking for clarity, sisters. He's saying that he wanted to clarify that when you do take a shower, before putting on the sheets of ihram, it's permissible to put on itar or perfume or anything else, and yes it is. You know, whatever you want to use, you can put on your body, but not on the sheets. Right? Of course it's going to get on the sheets, but you didn't put it on it, it's on your body. Brother? What is that? Sa'i? Sa'i is the terminology used for the walking between the 2 mountains. So basically there's no mountain there anymore. After making the tawaf and you pray 2 rak'ah, you will be directed to a second location, which is a rectangular location. And there's a beginning point on both sides. And this is the area where Hajj alayhi salam ran 7 times looking for water. And so we mimic, or what we do is that we replicate that practice in admiration of her action to gain something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you'll get to Safa first, the one corner, you'll make dua, and from there you'll come down. As soon as you come down, it's like a little slope. As soon as you come down the slope, there's green lights. These green lights indicate the area or the zone where Hajj alayhi salam she ran. In this place, a lot of brothers and sisters run. You're not supposed to run. Why? Because you may bump into someone and you may hurt someone. Sisters are advised to continue walking. Brothers are requested to kind of, like a light jog, kind of pick up the pace, but no running. Don't have a race there. When you get to Marwa, that's 1. When you get back to Safa, that's 2. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're going to end up on the opposite side. That's why, you know those little gym bags, those string bags? Have one of those. You could put your shoes and your water bottle, because if you put it at the rack anywhere, you're not going to find it. And even if it was there, you have to long walk back. So keep your shoes on you, and that is 7 rounds. Some people think 7 rounds means 1, 2. That means they did 14. That's a lot. If that makes sense, inshallah. That's called sa'i.
Okay, sisters, on the microphone that you have, there's a mute button on the left. Press it. Does it turning green light on? Still it doesn't work? Okay, so what you can do is text me the message. My number is 214-208-5786. Okay, we already have one question from the sisters. So again, I'm repeating the number, 214-208-5786. You come to me and I will show it to Imam Sahib. Okay?
Brother's asking a very important, to address a very important point. Just say that you owed someone money or you hurt someone and they're no longer alive. How do you deal with this before you go Hajj? Going with a clear conscience is so important. Making sure you do what's in your capacity is vital. So you reach out to extended family members. You tell them, I owe this to your parents or your father or someone, and here's the money. If you don't have it at that time, make acknowledgement of it and try to make an arrangement. If you hurt someone, if you hurt someone and they're no longer in this world, do something good for their family. If you can't do anything good for their family, go there and do something good for them. Remember, it's never too late to fix up our mistakes. If we have the capacity to do it here now with them, or in their absence with their families. If in the absence of their family, with their friends. If not, go there, do something good for them and pray for them, inshallah. We have to always make sure that we die in a state that we have not done wrong to anyone, inshallah. It's very important. There was a question here.
Next question from sister.
Sorry, sorry, I'm not an iPhone person. There's a question from the sister. Do sisters need to be with their mahram to do their Hajj ritual, or they can do their own? Okay, so if I understand this question from two different ways, one is going solely from here alone, do a soul journey like yourself, solely yourself, or it could mean that you're with your mahram at times during the Hajj. The Saudi government has a law that states that any lady who's above 45 can go to Hajj alone so long the group takes responsibility for her and they become the mahram. This is a law, this is permissible by their standards, but I would always recommend that if a sister can take a husband, a brother, an uncle, someone, father, and go, it's better. If not, it's permissible by them. I don't want to get into the fiqh debate of it. There's different views on it also. But when you do have a mahram and you do go for Hajj, there may be times that you will go tawaf and you would not have your husband or brother or someone with you because there were the brothers in the room and they may be sleeping. At that time, take some people with you. The brothers should kind of team up and be together if they're not with families, and so should the sisters. Always go and do things collectively. Why? No one's going to kidnap you, somehow, but Allah forbid something happens to you, there's someone there to help you. And I'll give you an example. One day, I'm stubborn sometimes. I want to always pray my Jummah in the Tawaf area. Now, to get in the Tawaf area, you have to be there by 9:30 in the morning. And it's hot. And that time, I never had umbrella, and I was alone. After Jummah, I was about to collapse, and I literally did fall down. And I called one of the brothers, and I told him where I was, and he came and helped me. And we were in Umrah. But just say I never had them with me. And in Umrah, you don't have a band or an ID badge. How would people locate me if I died? So, for your sake and for the sake of your family and group, always have people with you. That's the best route. Brother, I lost the text message again. Sorry. Okay. Can you please repeat the 5 steps of Ihram? Certainly. Number 1 is you clean yourself either through shower or wudu. Number 2 is you put your clothing on, the Ihram clothing for the sisters. It may be whatever they want to wear. And the brothers, it's the 2 sheets. For the sisters, keep one thing in mind. We put hijab on. Now the hijab, we have to understand that nothing is allowed to touch the face, right? So some sisters who wear niqab, what they do is they wear like a baseball cap and a sheet over that. That's fine, so long it doesn't touch the face. But for those who don't and they put hijab on, your face is from your hairline, inclusive of your chin, from one earlobe to the other. So if your hijab is kind of covering your forehead or it's covering your chin, that means cloth is touching your face. So just make sure when you put your hijab on, if you wear one of those hijab caps, it will help make sure that, it stays in place, and try not to cover your chin or your cheeks because then that's touching the face. So number 1, again, purification. Number 2, putting on your clothing. Number 3, making 2 rak'ah prayer for ihram. Number 4, and again, for sisters or brothers, if they can't, due to any reason, that's fine. Number 4 is making intention of what you're going to do. You cannot say, I'm making intention for Hajj, because those who are going to Makkah right now are going to go do Umrah first, and then they're going to go Medina, and then they'll come back again. So right now your niyyah is Umrah, unless you're doing Hajj Qiran, which means you're going to come in one ihram, and you're going to stay like that till the day of Eid. That's up to you. There's difference. But I'm saying your intention would be for what you're going to do at that time. And then number 5 is to say what, everyone? Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, innal hamda wal ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. You could maybe take a screenshot of it on your phone from some place on Google, or you could write it down somewhere. This is called the talbiyah. Upon saying that, you've entered the state of ihram. Is toothpaste allowed? Is toothpaste allowed in ihram? I would always say just use miswak. They have good fresh miswak there. If you want to use toothpaste, so long as it's unscented, it protects you from not falling under the category of using something that is scented. So personal discretion is up to the person. Try not to use anything scented, but miswak is always the better route. And remember, it's only 2 days. You're going to brush in the morning before you put ihram on the 8th. It's just that night you're not going to brush, the next morning you're not going to brush, and then that night you're not going to brush, the next morning you're not going to brush. So 2 nights basically. The 3rd day, inshallah, you will brush and get back to usual. Bidnillah. What was the second question for the sisters? Sorry. Can sisters take a strand of hair and cut off an inch, or do have to gather all their hair and then cut off an inch from them all? So that's a very valid question, because we have to understand the reality of the present situation. Now, maybe some sisters don't have long hair. They have short hair. So how do they get out of ihram? Now, the cutting of the hair goes down to the fiqh also of the different madhabs. According to some school of thoughts, you do must have the whole head is incumbent. Some say a few hairs. I think according to Hanaf is a quarter of the head. So some people will go according to that. If the sisters can gather their entire hair and take a bit off from the bottom, it's fine. If according to school of thought, it allows them to just do masah on a few hairs, that would be fine. You will see a lot of different things happening there, brothers and sisters. People will be doing things differently according to their school of thought or according to their own opinions. Don't get caught up in that, because you're going to ruin your own Hajj. Someone will be standing right there just cutting their own hair. And you're like, how come I can't cut my own hair? Or how come a person cut 2 hairs and I need to cut all this? Understand the school of thought and the teachings that you follow and apply them to the best of your ability when you're over there. Let me give you an example. According to the Hanafi school of thought, following the tartib is lazim, meaning what you call it, pelt the shaitan, slaughter the animal, shave the head, get out of ihram and go to tawaf. This is tartib. This means the structure. It's incumbent. You have to follow this. According to all other school thoughts, it's not. So you'll come back from Muzdalifah in the morning to Mina and you'll see people in your tents. They've already got their clothing on. They've showered up. They're shaving up. And you're like, why is our group so wrong? Well, they're doing it in their way. They're like, I'm going to get ihram right now. My slaughter could be done after a few hours. I don't care, because I don't have to follow the schedule. Everything is different, but just try to understand in the ream of what you're doing and follow that, and don't get overwhelmed or confused by what others are doing. Last thing is, Hanafi school of thought also, someone cuts your hair. But if there is not a possibility for that to happen, you could cut your own hair. You could cut your own hair. There's flexibility based on the scenario or circumstance that you face at that time. Another question is, I want to take my son to help me. Is he allowed to make Hajj and accepted when he lives as student with high debt? So if you make him, we call it tamlik, you make him the owner of the funds that are going to be utilized for his Hajj. And he is baligh, means he's mature, he's stable, he's sane, he's an adult basically. Yes, his Hajj would be accepted. As for the high student debt, another reality we have to face in our world, because Islam is not a hard and fast religion. It is very fluid and flexible based on scenarios and circumstances we face. Yes, most of our children, if not all our children, are faced with high debt. So long it's a structured debt that they're paying on a monthly basis and the payments are being made, they could go do their Hajj and come back, and inshallah it will be accepted. Does a lady's hair have to be untied, or are they allowed to tie their hair? Well, when you're in the state of ihram, sisters, I think the best is to kind of bun your hair, like tie it up in the back. That would be better. Or to kind of make a braid or something. That's the best scenario during the course of the state of ihram. And then when you come to cut it, it would be easier for that. There's no one way or the other. It's not the sisters have to tie their hair or the sisters have to keep the hair loose. It's however they prefer it to be. But remember, it's part of the satar to cover the hair also. So make sure if you're going to leave your hair loose and the hair is long, the hair does not show while you're in the state of ihram, inshallah. One more question, inshallah. Bismillah.
The second part was left out. This is the second part.
Can we use wipes in toilet? Okay, so yeah, this is another problem, brothers and sisters. Doesn't matter if you're staying in what they call the VIP tents, and I always had an issue with that, because you know how it's marketing, right? There's VIP tents and non-VIP tents. There's nothing VIP about it. If you're going to be next to Shaitan and call that VIP, mashallah. It's called close proximity and far proximity. Remember, in Hajj, doesn't matter who you go with, it's a struggle. If you're living in the tents close to the shaitan, you have to take the train, which is strenuous. And if you're living far, you have to walk to the Jamrah. It's strenuous. Doesn't matter which way you go, Hajj is strenuous. It's part of the package, okay? Now, the bathrooms there is the biggest problem. Until maybe last 4 or 5 years, it used to be those Asian toilets, right? The ones you squat on. And so many people were like, what are these things? Because we from America hardly use those things. But now you have the squatty potty in Bed Bath & Beyond because it's been proven it's the healthiest way to go to the bathroom. But anyways, you know, it was a hygiene issue for many. They had the water hose. They had the squatting toilets. Now they have the American toilets. But guess what? The toilet seats are wet. And guess what? By day 3, I guarantee you the toilet seat will be broken. It will be broken. Because unfortunately, I don't know what happens to us. We're civilized, right? We're in a civilized... When we go there, I don't know what happens to Americans, Canadians, and Europeans. The day they come back from Muzdalifah, they're shaving their hair in the passage. People are walking, and you're shaving your hair, and your hair's on the floor. They take ihram out and they throw it on the ground. Did you hire a servant or someone to come and pick it up? And even if you did, it's not their job. You clean up after yourself. I had a sister who came Hajj with us. We stayed at the VIP, so-called VIP tents for 9 years, alhamdulillah. And she's a convert. She's a wife of a very successful doctor. And on the day of Eid, when she saw the sisters, you know, cutting hair, dumping things, she got so mad. She came and screamed at everyone, and she closed off the bathroom. She got on her hands and feet. She asked the people to give her the cleaner. She cleaned the bathrooms. And she said, I dare see anyone messing this place up again. We're Muslims. Cleanliness is half of our faith. How dare you? Everyone was shocked. No one messed up after that. So those American toilet seats are now in a greater ratio. You'll have 10 of those and 2 squatting, when before it used to be 10 squatting and 2 American. And they're filthy and they're nasty. And guess what else, sisters and brothers? The shower is in the same facility. The shower is in the same facility. You're going to take a shower and also use a toilet in the same zone. So let me tell you what you do. Brothers, write this down also. Take like a plastic hook or something, which you can hang over the door, just one, and you put your ihram on it, okay? Number 2, you're going to take the hose and wash down the entire bathroom if you're going to take a shower there. Because sometimes there's feces and stuff around and it's going to splash back on you. If you're going to use a toilet, wash the toilet seat first. Take a few rolls of toilet paper from here. Toilet paper is expensive over there. Charmin is maybe the best one to take from here because over there they're like paper. They just mess up in your hand. Wipe the toilet seat. Use a toilet. Wipe yourself. It's permissible to use that. It is also permissible to use wipes, as the sister asked, but the wipes cannot be scented. They have to be just regular wipes. And they're flushable, that's perfectly fine. But understand the dynamics. It doesn't matter where you're going. A tent is a tent, and Hajj will always be Hajj. So be prepared to clean for others and leave the place cleaned as you would want to be for yourself. Set the trend. If not, you will see instantly one person throws a can of Pepsi, there's 10 of them on the road. Pick up one, inshallah, other people will pick up, and this will be ajr. Because remember, as I said, be a benefit, help people, and don't harm anyone, inshallah. Next question. That's it? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us all. There's 2, yes? Is that something taped up? Okay, that's a sign, yes. Last one. Okay, bismillah, 2.
If a person wants to take a shower, can he take the shower while in the toilet? And my second question is, if a person get ihtilam, so how he can do it?
So, you know, there's a new business of this unscented, industry of unscented soaps and everything else. Realistically, buy a bar of unscented Dove soap, for example. If you're going with your wife, for example, cut it in half. She could keep half, you keep half. What do you need that for? I'll tell you. You need it for if you use your hands to eat and there's oily residue or some fatty residue left on your hand from the food. Use unscented soap and wash it off. You went to the bathroom, use unscented soap and wash it off. You don't need a whole line of unscented products for 2.5 days. It really doesn't make sense. Keep everything that you're accustomed to and keep that one bar. Are you allowed to take a shower in the state of ihram? Brothers and sisters, yes, you can. Wash yourself down, that's fine. Dry yourself up. Brothers, we have hair, so don't scrub yourself because you're going to be taking hairs out. Just like, pat yourself down, put on a new ihram, put on clothing, it's all fine. Try not to use soap because it's also removal of the body, the grease. This is part of your ihram. This is part of the lesson. But if you had ihtilam or something like this happen, a person had a wet dream and they have to take a shower, then they will use unscented soap to remove the impurities, and then they'll take the rest, just wash themselves down. But don't make yourself accustomed to the morning schedule that we have here. I see people there 6 o'clock in the morning, they take up a section of the wudu area, they got their razor, their shaving foam, they're shaving, they're brushing, they're flossing, they're doing the whole 9 yards. This is different. Remember, this is death. Treat it like death, inshallah. So those are 2 questions that are answered, alhamdulillah. Inshallah, we end and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our presence here. Qulu ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take us to His house safely and accept us and accept our Hajj. Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala return us back as better people. Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala return us back as people who understand what life's about, and we prioritize what needs to be done and we pursue that accordingly. Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to make dua for the entire ummah and Hajj. Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those who pray to Allah during each round of tawaf. By the time we are sitting for prayer in the midst of the night, in the middle of the night, may Allah make us amongst who are constantly praying and remembering Him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be amongst those whose du'as are accepted for the betterment of the entire ummah. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa salamun al mursaleen. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullah khair, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan, Imam Azhar. So those who are going for Hajj, please make dua for the entire community. Remember, make it on the list. All of the ISCC members, those who are coming to the masjid, musallis, families, friends, please make dua. Make dua for care for all of us. And please make dua for all the volunteers. They spend tons of time at the masjid for their strength, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us hidayah to all of us. Ameen. So please, and you might meet Imam Azhar at the Hajj too. He's also planning to go for Hajj, so inshallah ta'ala.